There is a planet in our own solar system where the air alone would kill you before the heat ever could. A world where a single day lasts longer than an entire year. A planet hidden beneath brilliant white clouds that for centuries made people wonder if it might be another Earth. Instead, it turned out to be the closest thing our solar system has to hell. Its skies are filled with acid. Its surface is hot enough to melt lead. And even the toughest spacecraft humanity has ever built have only survived there for a matter of hours. But perhaps the most disturbing part isn't how different Venus is from Earth. It's how similar they once were. If these two worlds were born side by side from the same cloud of gas and dust, how did one become the only known home of life, while the other became a planet that shouldn't exist? From space, Venus looks surprisingly ordinary. It's almost the same size as Earth, has nearly the same mass, and sits right next door in our cosmic neighborhood. That's why scientists often call it Earth's twin. For hundreds of years, nobody knew what lay beneath its thick clouds. Telescopes couldn't see through them, leaving the surface hidden behind a permanent white veil. People imagined vast oceans, dense jungles, maybe even civilizations. After all, if Earth looked this promising from a distance, why shouldn't Venus? The truth was far stranger than anyone imagined. When the first spacecraft finally descended through those clouds, every kilometer revealed something worse than the last. The atmosphere became thicker. The temperature climbed higher. The pressure increased relentlessly. By the time it reached the surface, the spacecraft had entered an environment unlike anything found anywhere else in the solar system. It survived for just over 2 hours before falling silent forever. Not because it crashed, because Venus slowly destroyed it. Standing on Venus wouldn't feel like standing on solid ground. It would feel more like standing nearly a kilometer beneath Earth's oceans. The atmosphere presses down with around 90 times the pressure we experience here. Every square meter of your body would be crushed beneath an unimaginable weight. Even specially designed spacecraft struggle to survive it. Now add the heat. Most people assume Mercury is the hottest planet because it's closest to the sun. It isn't. Venus is. Its average surface temperature sits at around 465 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to melt lead, hot enough to destroy electronics, hot enough that every mission sent to explore its surface has been working against the clock from the moment it landed. And unlike Earth, where temperatures cool after sunset, Venus never gets a break. Day or night, pole or equator, it's almost equally scorching everywhere. Which raises another question. If Mercury is closer to the sun, why is Venus hotter? The answer lies in something surprisingly familiar. Earth also has an atmosphere that traps heat. Without it, our planet would be a frozen wasteland. But Venus took that same process to an unimaginable extreme. Its atmosphere is made almost entirely of carbon dioxide, creating a runaway greenhouse effect. Sunlight enters, heat struggles to escape. The planet keeps warming, and once that cycle began billions of years ago, there was no way to stop it. Venus became trapped inside its own heat. Its beautiful clouds only make the illusion stranger. They look soft and harmless from space. They're anything but. They're made mostly of sulfuric acid. If you somehow floated high above the surface, you'd drift through corrosive acid clouds instead of water vapor. Oddly enough, it never actually rains acid onto the ground. The droplets evaporate long before they reach the surface because the lower atmosphere is simply too hot. It's a rainstorm that disappears before it ever arrives. as if Venus wasn't already strange enough. It also spins backwards. Nearly every major planet rotates in the same direction. Venus decided to do the exact opposite. Nobody knows for certain why. Maybe an enormous collision flipped the planet billions of years ago. Maybe powerful gravitational forces gradually reversed its rotation. Scientists are still searching for the answer. And because Venus rotates so incredibly slowly, one day there lasts about 243 Earth days. That's longer than its entire trip around the sun. Imagine celebrating New Year's Day before you've even finished one sunrise. On Venus, time itself seems broken. But perhaps the greatest mystery isn't what Venus is today. It's what it might have been. Some computer models suggest that billions of years ago, Venus may have had shallow oceans, cooler temperatures, and conditions that weren't entirely different from Earth's. If that's true, then Venus didn't begin as an unlivable world. It became one. Somewhere in its distant past, the oceans disappeared. The atmosphere thickened. Temperatures spiraled out of control. And the planet crossed a point of no return. No one knows exactly how quickly it happened. But once the runaway greenhouse effect took hold, there was no turning back. Venus transformed into the furnace we see today. That possibility makes Venus more than just another planet. It becomes a glimpse into how dramatically worlds can change. Not because Earth is destined to become Venus. Current science doesn't support that idea. But because it reminds us that planets are not permanent. They evolve, they change. And sometimes those changes are irreversible. Today, Venus shines brilliantly in our morning and evening skies. It's one of the brightest objects visible from Earth. Beautiful, calm, almost inviting. Yet hidden beneath those glowing clouds lies a world where the air crushes, the heat never fades, and even our greatest machines are given only a few hours to survive. Perhaps the strangest thing about Venus isn't that it's the most hostile planet we've ever explored. It's that in another timeline, it might have looked a lot like home. Until next time, stay curious.